This is the first time 5 members with connections to one organization will all be recognized in the same class. College prospects from all over the country come here to Phoenix to train at the Fisher Institute. But Fisher also hopes to inspire local athletes here in the Valley. These sports physical therapy clinics offer Olympic-grade equipment like this to get some of the Valley's youngest athletes back competing as soon as possible. Although the CDC identifies annual vaccinations as the best way to prevent flu, ASU Athletics does not mandate the shot for its students or staff. It was a battle between two tough defensive teams. At halftime, Brophy had only scored 17 points to Perry's 13, but ultimately, Brophy pulled it out 47-38. Women candidates will make up a larger share of the ballot than ever before in Arizona, part of a national trend in what's being called the Year of the Woman. Arizona is one of 13 cities with the 4 major sports markets with the Suns, Coyotes, Diamondbacks, and Cardinals. But today, it's all about the hotshots. It's a fight that could lead to a partial government shutdown this month if both sides dig in their heels.
Sun Devils are relentless.
Arizona State University released a video earlier this year to raise awareness about mental health.
Physically, intellectually, emotionally, especially emotionally. Being student athletes stresses all of us one way or another.
Being a college student comes with pressures of its own.
We can ask for help though, with coaches, trainers, doctors, and counselors.
But for student athletes who must add a grueling practice schedule, a time-consuming travel itinerary, and a desire to compete at a high level consistently, the pressure could be unimaginable. ASU soccer player Christina Edwards says she struggled with mental health issues in the past and believes conversation is key.
Christina Edwards.
I think that I can heal and a lot of other people can heal through talking about it. And even though sometimes it's maybe hard for me and it's hard for others to talk about it, there's that common ground we can reach and said, hey, I've actually kind of been through similar things.
ASU is one of many Pac-12 schools highlighting this topic. The Pac-12 gave nearly $4 million to the University of Colorado Boulder for research on student-athlete wellness. And Oregon State launched the Damn Worth It campaign with the goal to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health.
Unfortunately, over the past couple years, there have been a couple instances in suicide within the Pac-12, one at Oregon State and one at Washington State. It's such a tragedy, but with that, thankfully, it's kind of caused a movement within our conference.
Sun Devil gymnast Heather Udowich, a co-president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee at ASU, recently voted on and witnessed the passing of new legislation that would require all Pac-12 schools to have mental health services for student athletes.
Under those requirements, we will have sports psychologists come in and help us, and then we are hoping to propose that on a national level to the NCAA, so hopefully all schools will also enforce this legislation.
ASU offers athletes counseling services, including a full-time sports psychologist on staff, but Arizona State Associate Athletic Director Dina Garner-Smith says coaches are the first line of defense.
This one. You spend an inordinate amount of time with your teammates, but also with your coach. And even more so with your coach, because your coach recruited you. And it's really pivotal that the coach is clear in helping to normalize the understanding and awareness around counseling services.
Man, my coaches have been great. I'm just so thankful for them. You know, if they see that I'm kind of struggling, they'll look at me and say, Heather, are you okay? And of course, I'm an athlete, I'm competitive, so I'm gonna say, yes, I'm fine. And they'll just kind of back me up and say, hey, you got this. And you know, just hearing that little bit of encouragement and knowing that they believe in me, that means a lot to me.
Through team camaraderie and support from the coaches and administration, ASU athletes will continue to work to normalize a tough discussion.
Just kind of want to send the message that anything that's going on with you, it's okay, it happens to other people, it's okay to talk about it, you're not alone in your struggle, there's other people experiencing it, and there's people here to help you.
In Tempe, Ashley Mackey, Cronkite Sports Report. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disability that can cause social, communication, and behavioral challenges. People with ASD may communicate, behave, and learn in ways that are different from most other people.
Set.
A nonprofit organization called Acing Autism uses tennis to positively impact children with autism in the Valley.
We met Richard Sperling, who is the CEO and founder of Acing Autism, back in 2016. I love the program and told him as soon as he's ready to implement the program in Phoenix, just to give us a call.
Chad and Elena Campbell's son, Ewan, was diagnosed with autism in 2015. Elena says finding activities for their son to participate in was difficult, but Acing Autism provided that opportunity.
We have 2 older children and we have a tennis company of our own. So we wanted to find a place that our son with autism could also enjoy the sport, and it could be a fully inclusive game for our family.
Acing Autism in Phoenix is also partnered with the Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, or SARC, a nonprofit organization dedicated to autism research and education. SARC has sent out certified therapists to come and teach the coaches and volunteers best practices, strategies, and techniques when working with kids with autism.
Well, Acing Autism's curriculum was built for children on the autism spectrum. The whole idea is to create language and communication opportunities for the children. Tennis is really just the excuse or the vehicle for delivering these opportunities.
And it's just great to see a grassroots program bringing kids that would not normally have the opportunity to play tennis.
Chad says when they started Acing Autism in Phoenix, they had about 6 kids and 6 volunteers. A year and a half later, and they had 13 children and 15 volunteers, and they only hope to see it continue to grow. In Phoenix, Ashley Mackey, Cronkite News. It's a topic that not many people like talking about, but an important topic nonetheless. I went to an event built around creating awareness and normalizing the conversation surrounding domestic violence. According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, in Arizona, every 44 minutes, 1 or more children witnesses domestic violence. This was the case for Lauren Tian. Out of that experience sparked her drive to advocate on behalf of domestic abuse victims and volunteer for the nonprofit organization Chrysalis.
Domestic violence affects everybody, and it's something that through doing this and we're spreading awareness, we've made the conversation more comfortable.
Lauren's husband, Mark Tian, is a pro baseball player, which helps draw professional athletes from a multitude of sports, including San Francisco Giants shortstop Brandon Crawford.
We were invited by the T-Hens. Evan Longoria and Jamie Longoria are friends of ours, obviously teammates, and they spoke highly of it, and we knew it was for a good cause.
My husband, being a baseball player at the time, we had a really unique platform that we were able to use and had a big reach to the community, and decided to kind of get involved with an organization that hit close to home.
Tian says watching her mom fight through domestic abuse was what ultimately prompted her to want to get involved. But Mark has watched Lauren maintain that drive since her mom passed.
And unfortunately, we lost Shelly, my wife's mom, after our first event, but I think it just continued to drive us to make this event bigger and better, and it's grown to what it is now.
Driving Out Domestic Violence Celebrity Golf and Gala has raised almost $2 million since its inception 8 years ago. The money raised serves Chrysalis to help victims of domestic violence in Arizona.
My wife and I, when we were asked to be co-chairs, we wanted to visit the Chrysalis Foundation and their shelter. And it really made us very proud to not only be co-chairs for this event, but to participate in this event in years to come.
8 years later, and the event is still going strong, but Lauren has no plan of stopping anytime soon.
So our goal is to get to 10 years, which is lofty, because they say kind of the life of every charity event has 10 years. But, you know, if we hit year 10 and it's still going great, we're probably going to keep it going and just stay as involved as we can and keep raising funds for the cause.
In Scottsdale, Ashley Mackey, Cronkite News. Other pro baseball players a part of fundraising for the event were Justin Upton and Paul Goldschmidt.